A warning to all about to listen to this podcast. The following audio may contain spoilers and inappropriate language, but most importantly, this podcast will definitely contain some bad opinions. You have been warned, but for now, let's get on with the show.
It's weird to think that there is like a delay between the live being transmitted between us like across the world because we don't really notice it because it's on Skype because it's only like 0.5 second delay, but you never really notice it. But you really notice it when you count it down when you have to do it all at the same time. No, it's simultaneous. That's the weirdest part.
I know. If I put a backing track to that could have been one of the best, like a number one hip hop hit in the US.
Stop that! It sounded like the opening to Big Bang Theory.
You're a big guy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Anime Bro Podcast, the place to be for all of your anime recommendations, the place to be for all of your anime reviews, and the place to be for all of your anime news. But just bear in mind, we may make your favourite anime a little bit shittier. You can find us on iTunes, Podcast Garden, and of course our usual home YouTube. To find us, just simply search for Anime Abroad and any... So, but what are you laughing at?
Your fucking mother.
Just bear in mind, if you subscribe to us on iTunes, you won't get Reanimate, Your Anime Weekly, or Ego Whales Amigos. That's YouTube exclusive content only. So rate, review, subscribe on iTunes, do all that business. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Alright then, so allow me to introduce my lovely co-podcasters who are joining me this evening, making his much anticipated return to our usual podcast. It's Ego.
Hello.
My fellow Brit is also here with a brand spanking new name. It's Raverin.
Hey. Hi.
And his sassy new gay personality.
Oh, are we doing this number?
Oh, okay.
The cake destroyer himself is also here. We've got Bleeark.
I'm the one who keeps making that kissing sound. I'm a fish.
And of course, our resident maple syrup chugging, bear fighting butthead is here. It's Valk.
Hey.
Bird fighting?
Bear fighting.
Is she like a tarantula that eats birds, or does she just like fight them and then run away?
No, she does a lot of cocaine and then goes and has fisticuffs with them.
Yeah. Nothing compared to a volcano fight with death, but you know.
Alright then, so let's crack on with the show. What's coming up on the show this week? Well, I'm going to start off with an apology. It's been far too long since we uploaded something with, actual real content.
Blame Dave.
Yeah, it's most of this is all on me, and I'm very sorry. Unfortunately, real life's been kicking everybody's ass lately, so it's been a massive pain for at least half of us. I'm in the process of starting up my own business, so that's been taking up a lot of my time, and the rest of the time I've just been asleep or drunk. It's difficult enough trying to get people from America, Canada, and England online at the same time as it is, but I've got a stupid sleeping pattern, and as I said, everybody's been working and what have you, so it just hasn't permitted us the time to do a proper podcast.
Stupid sleeping pattern. You got up when I got home from work. I've been in work for 8.5 hours.
I was sleeping the entire time.
You lazy bastard.
I wonder what that's like. But to be fair though, I stay up all night playing video games when I really should be sleeping and going to work the next day being like, oh man, I sure am tired. Like, shut the fuck up, Nate. You ain't even fucking going to sleep when you should be.
That's how bad we've gotten. We're actually procrastinating sleep now. Yeah. So yeah, how about that anime? Yeah.
What anime? What are you talking about?
I'm just still pointing out I'm reviewing K-On! I don't care what anyone says. I'm gonna fuck you.
Okay.
That's what's happened in this episode.
As you can probably tell from the title I'm going to give this show, we're going to do a wrap-up of summer 2014. Between myself, Ego, Iru, Raverin, and Valk, we've watched quite a lot of shows from this season, so we're going to try and split it up into 2 parts. So for today's show, time permitting, of course, we're going to try and cover Tokyo Ghoul, Aldno Zero, Blue Spring Ride, and Nozaki-kun, and of course, if we've got the time, Akame ga Kill and a K-On! Review. In part 2, it's likely we'll cover Sword Art Online 2, Zanki no Terra, and Persona 4 Golden. And if we can get Ego back, then he can cover like the 50 million shows he's been watching this summer. Alright then, so lots to cover, let's crack on with it. Tokyo Ghoul, who wants to get us started on that?
I haven't even fucking watched it.
Let me throw out my unbiased opinion.
Getting started on that.
The first 2 episodes are the only 2 episodes I've watched, and I really like it. So I'm not disappointed yet, but I know
spoilers, they were the only
spoilers,
2 episodes.
Episode 8, right? Is it the beach episode?
Yes.
It's always the beach episode.
That could have made Tokyo Ghoul like one of the worst anime I've ever seen if there was a beach episode in there.
Which Tokyo would you ghoul?
Hey,
it's not a very nice though.
To be fair, in MM, that the beach episode was by far one of the funniest.
That's the same with Campione. I mean, beach episodes overall tend to be really bad, but Campione's beach episode was pretty funny.
Wait, Dave, have you watched Momo Kyun Sword at all?
No, that's another thing I need to talk. Have you seen
no,
stage yet?
I saw the first 3 episodes. It's fucking horrendous.
Exactly.
It's basically Sergio Chara based in feudal Japan fighting demons
with big boobs.
With big boobs, and instead of little characters that are supposed to change their personality, it's a cat, like a dog, a monkey, and some sort of pheasant. Or as I like to call it, a dramatical pigeon.
A dramatical pigeon.
Does the bird have a name?
So there you go to anybody who wanted a 3-episode, review of Momo Kyun Sword. Tim's got you covered. Tim's just done it. It's shit. Give it the 3 hours. In fact, I'll do it for you. 0 out of 10. Stay away from it like it's the fucking plague. I know we won't rewatch it.
I'm pretty sure Iru has something to say about that, so I think you need to shut the fuck up.
What, Iru? Has he been watching Momo?
I don't know. I feel like that's the show he'd watch. He's going to come in. He's going to join the call, and he'd be like, yeah, Nate, why don't you shut up? Your wife who is shit.
All right then, so Tokyo Ghoul. I'm just looking up my notes. Right, we could give it a synopsis, but we've pretty much already done that before. If you need to find out what one is, you can go to myanimelist.com, or you can go to Wikipedia, have a look at it there, or you can go back and listen to episode 9.
In trouble and just not
avoid it altogether.
Yeah.
But
is it really that bad?
Crippling disappointment.
Yes.
Crippling disappointment.
It's like, why? I was like, it looked really good.
It did, didn't it?
It did.
To start it off, it's a fantastic concept, and its execution was just fucking shite. There's no other way to put it.
I like stepped to episode 5, and then it just started plummeting. And
there
I think
was so
you
much
guys
in
the beach episode. That's the real
and then
beach
it just
episode.
Started adding more promises.
Yeah.
And so they were all bad.
All right, so let's just jump into like the story and the plot, and like expectations and
because that made sense too.
The genres. I know it's so full of plot holes. Well, first of all, I'd like to say, if anybody remembers episode 9, remember what I said would be anime of the season?
No.
I said Tokyo Ghoul.
I said I'll know a 0, like right when the season started.
And you were correct, but
that was going to be anime of the season.
But I said Tokyo Ghoul for anime of the season. I feel embarrassed that I would even that I actually said that.
I can't blame you.
It's horrible.
Y'all are disappointed. I have the whole show, so I was like, am I going to watch it? Or, I did buy the whole thing, right?
It sucks too, because I think I'd start liking the main character a little more after all that, and then it was like, no, you probably won't get any more.
So we could start off by talking about Kaneki, because do you know what? He reminded me so much of Ganta from Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh my god.
A little bitch?
Basically just another little bitch.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Just to sort of, like, Kaneki is our main character, and he sadly falls into the category of whiny little bitch main protagonist. Again, reminds me of Ganta from Dead Man Wonderland, and I've heard other people compare him to, what's his name? The guy from Evangelion.
No,
yeah,
Shinji Ikari,
yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know, I haven't seen that. It's like, he suddenly gained this ability that makes him extremely powerful, but he didn't want it in the first place, and because he has this power, it's put his life into shambles, put him in a position he doesn't want to be in, and there's not a lot he can do about it. So, what does he do? He just bitches, and he cries, and he moans, and he complains. Basically, the exact kind of character trope you want your main focus of the show to be on. Am I right?
Yeah, basically me in an anime, right? guys, I'm superhuman. Can I not?
I watch anime to live my life, Not to get or anything.
I really don't want to save the world right now. This shit's boring. Requires me to leave my bedroom.
It's the one thing that makes me even more sad about this now is, like, Kaneki's my least favorite character. I'll say straight off the bat right now. In a show of characters that have so much promise, like pretty much none of them fucking delivered on, he's by far and away the worst. But the worst thing about this is, if this show is to get a dub, we know Greg Eyes has got himself a gig.
We don't use words like that in this chat. This is a Christian chat. Can it please? I love Johnny Young Bosch. He was a power.
Can the show just not get a dub?
But he also plays that whiny little bitch character. Have you ever seen the dub of Gankutsuwa?
No.
The main character is exactly like that, and he, like,
you know what?
Is pretty much useless.
The only time I couldn't tell him as a role was Bash in Trigun. Ever since then, whenever I hear him like as Sasori in Naruto, Ichigo as Bleach, anything else, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
The worst thing is,
wait.
One
Johnny
of my
Bosch plays Sasori?
Sasori in the Red, yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
Here's the better thing. Here's the other thing. Sengoku Basara. Love the Japanese dub. Love Yukimura Sanada in the Japanese dub. Guess who he's fucking voiced by in the English?
Good guys.
No, Johnny Young motherfucking Bosch.
What do we think of him playing Lelouch's in Code Geass?
That was okay.
It was perfect.
That was a good role.
He's just flamboyant and evil enough.
Yeah, no,
I am just flamboyant and evil enough to play this part.
And let's not forget, he was the second Black Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Wait, is there a level of
that's the best
flamboyancy
thing
that
he's
you
ever
have to conquer the world? Because, like, I'm pretty sure I could conquer the world at this point.
Yeah, but you're not like twig thin. You're kind of the opposite.
Well, let's be fair here. I'm pretty thin. Yeah, you know, you're fucking fat shaming right now. I'm pretty fucking offended. Y'all need to stop. I'm being triggered.
If I had to pin you as an anime character, it would be the one that makes the nail guns at the beginning of High School of the Dead.
Yes, I was gonna, dude. I'd totally cosplay as him. That'd be fucking great. You think I wouldn't, but joke's on you because I would.
And Kirsty can do any female because her tits are the same size as my head.
No comments.
Does she listen to this podcast?
Hopefully not.
Wait.
Well,
Do you
someone's
mean
gonna get a
imply
stern
there are
talking
people
to.
listening? We've been
Someone's
saying all
on
these
sex
things
pod.
and people are listening to us.
We have
Hey,
more
my
than
mom
one
does.
viewer.
Holy
People
motherfucking
just
God!
accidentally clicking on our fucking channel. Oh shit, I don't know. 2 views? I ain't fucking watching this.
Tokyo
Alright, let's
Ghoul.
go back onto Tokyo Ghoul. Let's go back on Tokyo Ghoul. We're talking about the characters. Which characters did we like? Which characters didn't we like? I hated all of them. I'll just state that right off the
There
bat.
you
I
go.
don't think any of them were
I
good.
felt like there were too many of them that just weren't fleshed out at all in some ways, and it's just like we were supposed to care about them, or I don't know, they were just fucking there like half the time, especially
I
near
feel
the
like
end.
Toka's brother could have totally been a cool character.
Yeah.
Like an edgy Sasuke type. But,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously that didn't happen.
like I wish
so-
someone would fucking take this and redo the entire thing and make it more than 12 episodes.
It's Joe. It really does seem like this series was just a massive advertisement for the manga. Let's cut out all the stuff
Yeah.
that explains everything and just pack it in with the action, if you could even
Yeah.
call it that. And let's try and make this as bright and colourful as possible and get people's attention on it and go, oh, well, too bad. If you want to find out more about it, you'll have to read the manga.
By the way, the manga's
Wait, is
canceled.
this Attack on Titan general? Like, holy shit.
Oh, it's much worse. It's much worse. It's much worse.
Yeah.
So I will say there is one character I sort of did like, and that's the blue-haired guy whose name I don't really care to remember.
Really? You
No,
liked
It was
it?
only
Dude.
by a
They're, like,
only
really
by a
fabulous
very
one.
very small margin, and that's just because he's a comically bad
I
villain.
fucking hate
Like
him.
he gives all the talk, doesn't back it up, thinks he's a part of this elite group in society. And the best thing is he adds random French and English words into his
Yeah.
dialect, and I don't know why he does that, but it's really funny to look at.
So he's Del Boy.
Del boy.
Alonzi!
I don't get it.
You need to watch.
It's
It's an
Only
old
Fools
English
and-
series called Only Fools and Horses, and one of the main characters just adds in random French, thinking he's making them more sophisticated. And he's just there in the middle of a conversation, going, "Oh yeah, mange too."
Orange too, more son. Especially in that Cockney accent as well. It's fan-fucking-tastic. There was one character that disappoints me the most, and I would probably say that was Toka.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you really liked her initially, didn't you, too?
I did, yeah. She just fell into like the typical tsundere trope as well. In the first couple of episodes, she just comes across as this total badass who'd kick you in the face just for looking at her. She's cold and she's distant to most people except for like one friend that she made in school, which showed a completely different side of her personality. I'm like, oh, I like this. This is something that we could possibly dig into, and this is something that could
Digging
be
into
interesting.
things, Tokyo Ghoul.
As I
You
mentioned
get
before,
nothing.
as we know about girls, they can't eat normal food, and if they do eat normal food, it'll make them weaker, and if they eat too much, it can actually kill them. But Toka would eat human food that her friend made for her just because like she felt like she'd be letting her down if she didn't eat the food.
Yeah, that was
I thought that
actually
was
really
dumb.
cool.
I don't understand why she didn't just go fucking vomit it up.
I think it was
I don't
just
know.
to try and show how much of a great friend she is, or try and make her look more human than Ghoul.
She's only doing it for herself, though. She could have thrown up, but instead she was like sitting there and she was like, why won't it fucking pass? Because she was actually trying to not
Shit
throw
it
up.
out.
Vomit it out.
Yeah.
Oh. But but apart from these two brief scenes that we get in like two scenes over 2 episodes, she just spends most of her time just being typical tsundere girl and hating life. She pretends she doesn't like Kaneki. She hates the fact that she's having to be his reluctant guard. But then the second he's in danger, she's like the first person to go, oh, we should go and save him. I totally hate that guy, but we should go and save him. Like, take the last 3 episodes, for example. She's prepared to go off on her own, by herself, no help whatsoever, charge into this building that's filled with police who have got anti-ghoul weapons and a shitload of other ghouls who really don't like her. Plus, not to mention, one of the ghouls inside that building have already kicked her ass really badly, and she was like, okay, I'm going to charge straight in there, I'm going to go rescue him by myself. What's more irritating than this is, like, normally with a tsundere girl, they get given reasons to, like, you know, eventually fall in love with the main male guy. But I didn't see anything like that with Kaneki. If anything, he just pisses her off more and more as the series goes along. So
Same with us.
So why is it you like him so much? Why are you quite prepared to, like, sacrifice your own life just to go and save him?
That's plot.
She wants the dick, bro. Like, when you want dick, you gotta do something for it, because he ain't gonna give you the dick. Especially not if you don't, like, fucking... You a ghoul minority, bro. You be sitting in the fucking minority crew with the ghouls and shit, and you be like, whoa, bro, you ain't getting the dick. Yeah, you gotta work for it. Does that count as racism?
Considering ghouls aren't a real thing, no.
Is it ghoulism, though? Like, I don't want to offend all the ghouls listening to the show. Like, real talk right now? Like, no offense. Like, if you a ghoul, I'm sorry.
And plus, don't try and eat Nate. It's not a very nice meal.
You're not gonna finish it, I guarantee you. I'll fucking your money back guarantee. Like, fuck it, what?
Let's jump into the animation and the visuals of the show. So, what did we think about that? The best part about this show.
I mean, honestly, at first it was stunning and it looked good, but then it just kind of became generic. It was like,
I kind of liked it overall, but the censoring was fucking.
Oh my god,
censoring was terrible. Like, this episode 1 was like a majority of it was blacked out. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that's better than the other episodes. Wait until you get further into it. It gets worse.
Wait till you get to the last episode. You don't even know what's going on. Yeah. It's the biggest fuck up of the show. The censoring is just beyond bad. I understand there's got to be censoring. I get that. It's on television. You have to hide some of what this show's got to offer. But when the censoring's done like this, I can't help but ask them, what was the point of being shown at all?
Yeah.
Wait, you're telling me they're gonna censor a decapitation, but G-cup titties over there is gonna fucking stand there with her fucking...
Exactly. It's a really fucking stupid standard to have. And I don't understand. Like, for a start, when somebody has, like, a limb cut off or they're stabbed in the stomach, for example.
Not like we know what it was that happened. Like, there were so many instances where I just didn't know how the person died or something. It'd be like, oh.
So something happens, we don't know what happens, but it's quite plain and clear somebody's been hurt or not in some cases. And you get the typical anime fountain of blood. And to cover this up, they just put a stupid filter over the screen. And then all of a sudden it's like everything's a shade of blue.
For you guys with seizure prones, like, this shit's gonna hurt your face. Like, that's episode 2. Like, seriously, I thought I was having a seizure. That shit was terrible.
And you know what?
It keeps happening.
It keeps happening, Dave.
Some dude's just been stabbed in the stomach, and there's a chance he could die, and then everything just turns fucking blue. And I laughed. How can I take that seriously? It just completely ruins immersion, and it took away a lot of the seriousness of the fucking scene. Like, the blood, the guts, and the gore make up a huge part of the show, and it's vital to have it. So why in the hell am I sat here just watching like an air enough black screen? What am I getting out of it exactly?
I don't understand why they didn't just center the plot itself. Like, why make them cannibals?
The strangest thing is
like flat show the show, but for like half an hour it's a blank screen with no sound.
Would have been an improvement on the last episode.
Why do they eat humans? Why can't they just, eat candy?
Seriously,
that would be some extreme.
They gotta go back home to their cake planet.
That's the reason why they're eating humans, Nate. You went there first.
Yeah.
No survivors.
I ate all the cake. There were no survivors.
Do you know what the strangest part of this was, though? Like, I'd done a little bit of digging, or I heard it in another podcast. I can't remember where I heard it from exactly, but from what I understand, this show didn't even air until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in Japan.
That's the late hour, too. That's like the less than censored hour. This is the hour that they show fucking titties. I'm not kidding. They show like straight out... No, they just take Mirai Nikki, for example. That episode, when they showed that on the air, I had like the on-the-air version, right? there were very few scenes where you could see the censors because every other thing was like shown blatant blood and guts and shit. Like the scene where spoilers gets her spoilered, like in episode 3, and then they censored
All right,
that out,
I'm
but
just
you
gonna-
see it happening. You know it's happening, and then you see the blood splash.
Do you mean when the point just about reaches there, and then you suddenly realize, oh, so that's what's happened to her face?
Yeah, no, I didn't realize in the Blu-ray version it gets a lot deeper. Like you see it.
Oh,
go.
I watched that. It's kind of like when that was uncensored, I was like, oh, I kind of regret asking for this.
Oh yeah, no, and then they had to
be
fix it, so
uncensored.
it's
No,
like you
that's
can
not
see
nice.
the hand go in. It's like, whoa.
You know what?
The only scene they didn't uncensor was episode 5 when it was the little kid. I think it was episode 5 or 6. It was the little kid. There was a scene that they had to keep censored.
I can't remember what happened.
Okay, I'm just gonna spoil it. The little kid gets stabbed by
You mean that's pretty much the plot of the fucking anime? Oh look, there's someone. Oh shit, there's with a knife.
I mean, for real though, it's like other than that, you don't notice any of the censoring. There's no blatant like blots or black spots or none of the like even for Attack on Titan, the very few things that they did censor, there was so much blood and guts in that show, and they didn't censor none of that. Maybe it could be based on the network though, depending on who's airing it.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, because I found that even online,
I forgot the name of the TV station.
Only just recently I've started watching Hunter x Hunter, and I started watching it on Netflix first, and then I switched over to watching it on Crunchyroll. And I was showing the first episode to Kirsty, and there was blatant censoring differences between the two, but there was no friggin' reason for it. Like Crunchyroll cut out like the whole reason why one of the main characters wanted to become a hunter, for no reason. Quite literally, he wanted cars, booze, and a house. Suddenly he goes, oh, the reason why I want to become a hunter? Booze! Yeah!
You actually just have brought up a very good point there. I can't remember the TV station that aired it in Japan, but Funimation did get the rights to this straight away, and they have been streaming on their website, so it might have something to do with Funimation. All right then, so very quickly, just go over the music. So sum that up. The censoring is just beyond fucking awful. It's the worst I've ever seen. But yeah, music, much like most of the show, I found the music to be pretty dull.
The OP is one of my favorite OPs.
Yeah, the OP was pretty good.
I was gonna say I have actually grown to like the OP quite a lot.
The first time I heard it kind of threw me off, and I just didn't know what to think of it. But it really grew on me. I love it. Also, the art in the ED is really fucking good.
When I listened to the OP,
I love it. It's great.
When I listened to the OP for the first time, I swear to God, I thought I was watching a super grimdark, edgy yaoi. I don't know why. Like I thought there was gonna be some boy love in this whole show, so I was like, "This better not be no grimdark, edgy yaoi. I'm gonna be pissed."
You already have to watch Love Stage.
Yeah, speaking of Love Stage,
much worse.
I watched one episode of that. There's actually male nipples in that show. I don't like that.
Male nipples?
That's why you should watch
Disgusting.
Males don't have nipples. Only females do. Every Japan person knows that.
All right then, so we pretty much covered all of the interesting parts. Like just to say, like, that is one part. Yeah, the last episode to this is just horrifically bad. That entire episode, it takes place inside of one room and inside Kaneki's head.
Filler.
The entire episode. It is.
The end of the episode was kind of cool. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be great if this wasn't over and it didn't suck?
Guys, hold on, we're not done yet. We just deconfirmed season 2. It's okay.
I heard about that.
It's not happening. Season 2's not happening. Don't worry, we're not done yet though.
No Crunchyroll, take
Chinese...
it down.
Shut it down.
Shut it down, Crunchyroll. Oh, okay.
It keeps happening, Crunchyroll. Shut it down.
Do you know what? I am utterly convinced Annie Charts is still advertising it. Hang on a minute.
It is. I saw it the other day.
Brilliant.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the final comments and 3 R's in this one. I've had my piece in this. I think it's a pretty garbage show with a lot of potential that could have fucked up big time. So Ravi, Valk, and Ego, final comments.
Let's say it was shit.
Okay.
All right. Rate it 3.5.
Oh yeah, 3 R's. Give us a 3 R's.
Out of 10.
Just before the 3 R's, I've just watched the opening for the first time. I think I'm tripping balls.
Wait, did Ravi just rate it 3 out of 5 out of 10?
3.5 out of 10.
Oh, I was like, did I miss something here? Is there extra things we're rating here?
No. It's like I'm actually rating it 0.6 out of 10.
I can't do math, dude. You're hurting me right now.
It didn't even get one whole point.
Exactly.
Okay.
It doesn't even get an A for effort. Like, they didn't even try.
They didn't.
Recommend and rewatch.
Recommend. No. Rewatch. No.
Yeah, you would. Don't lie.
All right, I'll finish up my thoughts. Overall, I feel the show is, main word again, dull. There's nothing special to it. It nosedives considerably from episode 4 onwards. This is a show focused heavily on violence, blood, and guts and gore, and we don't get to see most of it, so I ask again, what's the point in it even existing? Its redeeming features are an action-packed first couple of episodes, a really funny midpoint antagonist, and the fact that it's over, and it's finished, and it's done, and I don't have to watch again. That's a really nice feature this show's got. So, great concept, poorly executed. For those reasons, I'm going to give Tokyo Ghoul a Tokyo Go and a 3.5 out of 10.
I made that joke first.
I told you Scousers are known for being thieves, lad. I am absolutely recommending you stay the fuck away from the show. If you want blood, guts, and gore with some swearing and crazy people, go watch Dead Man Wonderland. Dead Man Wonderland is just far better.
It's not even
less censored.
great.
I've already said it before on this podcast, and I'll say it again. Watch Panty and Stocking with Garter Belts.
Yeah.
just the high school scene with the fuck. And if you want even more swearing, watch the English version, because they make Panty even worse.
No, have you seen the what is it, the uncensored version of Dead Man Wonderland? Like the English dub version.
I've got it.
Like,
yeah.
I've seen the censored version of Dead Man Wonderland. I didn't realize they had to revoice the entire cast for it, because holy shit, there are a lot of words that you can't say on like American TV, let alone fucking DVDs. Like this shit's fucking like, the word cunt is said at least 30 times. I'm not even kidding.
So it's just BBC One then.
Yeah.
However, if you wish to ignore me, don't watch it just yet. You absolutely must wait for the uncensored DVD and Blu-ray discs to come out.
Buy the Blu-rays.
Or drive a couple of nails through your eyes so you can see more blood.
Yeah.
That's the final. And finally, would I rewatch it? Absolutely fucking not. This show had nothing to offer the first time, so what's it going to offer the second time round? Valk, your final comments and 3 hours.
So fucking depressing. Like, I was so hopeful for it, and I want to like it so fucking bad, and I can't. Like, I don't know, fucking 4 out of 10 or so. Don't watch it.
4, fucking hell.
Yeah.
That was a generous score.
Probably because it's not the grim, dark, edgy yaoi that I thought it was going to be.
One last thing about Tokyo Ghoul. What the fuck was the last scene, a fight scene with the music laid over it? What was the point of that? Why did they put the most exciting scene of the show there?
No, I actually really liked how that went together.
I kind of did as well.
I thought that.
Not to say it was great or amazing, I just thought it was
No,
okay.
that was like, well, after the fucking episode, that looked amazing.
That's pretty much the highlight of that episode. Or the series altogether.
That was nicely well thought out by them. They thought, okay, if we make the rest of the episode so shit, this last part's going to look fucking fantastic in comparison.
Maybe they couldn't afford sound effects.
Alright, Ego, Nozaki-kun.
Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun is a show about Sakura Chiyo, who's in love with her classmate Nozaki, and when she tells him that she likes him, she actually says, "I'm your fan," and so he gives her an autograph, because it turns out he's a manga artist, and he just and he recruits her to work for him.
So I assume she immediately sells the autograph on eBay.
No, she keeps it and probably.
She likes him. Why would she do that?
She give him happy $5 magic ending.
Wait, what are you guys talking about? She makes a shrine out of it. She fucking loves it. She's gonna kill someone
That's
for him.
what I was gonna say.
This shit's gonna turn into
Basically,
some
the rest of the
shit.
show is all about.
It's got the autograph, a picture of him, a lock of his hair that she took away from him that he didn't notice.
Testicle.
She like makes a shrine of it.
It's like candles all lit and shit.
She just
Like
does a full
with his face.
from that midpoint in Mirai Nikki. She just kidnaps him, locks him in a hotel, and
And she just sits on him with her underwear on, and God knows how long they haven't showered. Dude, I don't know about you guys, but when that episode aired, I was like, I wonder how long they haven't showered, because that looked really gross.
Anyway, go on, Rob.
Wait, hang on. So, have you ever watched Hey Arnold?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, do you remember Helga's like
she goes full Helga on him.
Arnold in her closet?
And she punches that one guy that breathes really hard?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, basically just imagine that.
Okay.
But Japanese.
That's where she keeps the autograph. Alright, so basically the rest of the show is about Nozaki accidentally recruiting people to work on his manga with him. other.
How do you do it accidentally?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. How do you accidentally create a thriving business?
Accidentally the business.
All right, so he's accidentally recruited people somehow into his business.
And he's just like, a bunch of the characters are supposed to be like models for his characters in the manga, but they're basically all just like gender bended.
Is this love
My
stage?
favorite kind
One
of
of them is a
porn.
guy who's like typical tsundere. One of them is a chick who's like super masculine, and it's just it works.
Really? I'm
It's
okay
not
with
like
that.
Take your
lower
word for
tier, like cis scum, but it works.
Like me. Excuse me. I'm being
The
privileged
show's
again.
just super cute, and it like makes fun of its own genre a lot.
Is it a comedy?
It looked really cute from the first
It is a
episode.
comedy.
I'll probably finish
Let me
it.
ask you. Does it have a good story?
Yeah, I guess.
That just it goes to
So
for the
wait,
answer.
hold the phone. So you told me the other day that was a solid 10 out of 10 show, and the story's just okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really about the story. It's just like a slice of life, like shorts.
I'm wearing shorts
The
now.
characters were good, I hope. Anyway,
It's just like the adventures of these people in a high school. It's not like these people are actively striving for something.
Oh, so it's a bit like Daily Life for High School Boys.
Yeah.
That's such a great show.
I want to rewatch
I know.
it.
I
it just-
fucking love that so much.
It goes back to the point that I was making in a previous podcast episode, whatever the fuck you want to call it, where
It was reanimated.
we were talking about whether or not a comedy needs to be or needs to have a good story or not. I thought that was a fairly interesting point to make.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we've got meh characters, we have a decent storyline, and we have a 10 out of 10 show. Soundtrack must have been a bit
I didn't like
something.
Bleeark
What are you talking about? It was the background art, you dunce. You think it was?
All right, so do you want to wrap it up? Give it a 3 hours. I really want to know why this is a 10 out of 10.
It's just like it's a great comedy. It's like it doesn't really take itself seriously, and it actually mocks a lot of like other shows that I watched. Like it makes fun of Clannad a lot.
Oh,
No, that's the feature I was
being
after.
triggered. It's a Christian check. We
I
know this one.
love Clannad, but it's just so overdone.
I don't want to talk about it.
I can now see why this is a 10 out of 10 show. So on that note, give us a 3
I don't
hours.
talk about it.
Rate it a 10 out of 10. It's actually probably one of my favorite shows now. Recommend definitely, but only to like a certain crowd. Rewatch, yeah, definitely.
I don't talk.
That sounds like an interesting show. I mean, like the anti-Clannad part of it makes me think
I don't
that
wanna talk
could
about
potentially
it.
be a 10 out of
I
10.
don't want to talk about it.
Good, because I don't want to
I
talk
don't
about
want to talk
Clannad
about
either.
it.
Yeah, so I mean, like every episode of the show, I like 2 minutes in, I was grinning like an idiot. So there's that.
It's like me with Aldo Zero. It's just I've given Aldo Zero a really, really good score. Like it's up there with some of the best of the shows that I particularly like.
Zero.
But it just I enjoyed it so much just watching it. It's
Is it up there with
I
Fate
can't
Stay?
say I can't. Fate Stay Night, fuck off. Fate Stay Night is like way down there. If you mean Fate Zero, it's close to Fate Zero.
Yeah,
Yeah,
shit zero.
We'll go on to Wild Noah next, but
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Can I
just-
just go on to a tangent there?
yeah, of course.
I mean, you and I have both been watching like half of K.
Yeah.
The whole like designated abilities thing and like the power stemming from certain people, that seemed like really familiar to me after watching Fate Zero. So I want to see like what's your reaction to that? Is it like on the same
Say that
tier?
again. Is K up there with Fate Zero?
Yeah.
What are we talking about
Or
exactly?
just
sorry?
like in like
in terms of visuals,
concept even, just concept.
or just the concept? I don't think so. No, I wouldn't put. Obviously I haven't finished it yet. The main attractions of the show for me so far has just been the visuals.
Yeah, it's a really pretty
it's
show.
it's a stunningly good looking show. But I think I was typing up some notes as I was watching it, and I think I said something along the lines of, if you're watching this, just make sure you've got a pair of sunglasses handy, because it's really bright, like to the
Yeah.
point where sometimes you're just kind of like, ugh,
It's actually like
turn your head away from the screen. I don't know where the comparison is that you're bringing up between that and Fate Zero in terms of like the concept of the story.
it kind of just like powers and like different groups and like factions just warring, and
Factions warring, yeah, there's definitely a similarity there, but I factions that I've seen up to now, and the only powers that I've seen right now, they all seem to be exactly the same. Just
Yeah.
bright lights.
Yeah.
Just bright lights, and I won't draw too many comparisons between the two. Not yet. At least not yet. Anyway, I'm gonna wait till I finished it before I can make something like that.
Yeah, and then writer
some of the
shows up.
characters definitely seem really similar to me. Like the ones like after power or after control even.
The Red Gang.
The blue.
Oh, the blue guys.
Yeah.
I can't draw a comparison like from one guy in that group to somebody in Fate Zero.
Just like the general air that they give off. Also the voices.
Oh,
They're like really deep.
have you been watching it dubbed?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, there were a few people in that dub that were in the Fate Zero dub as well.
Okay.
I haven't looked too much into it, but I did recognize a few ones. Like Johnny Young Bosch was in that one as well, weirdly.
Johnny Young Buck is in
right,
everything.
which one is
He's
he?
like a.
He's the guy who used to be in the Red Gang, but now he's in the Blue Gang.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate that guy. Man, I really hate the villain.
Matthew Mercer's in there. Matthew Mercer played Kiritsugu in Fate Zero in the dub. So. All right, then, what are we moving on to next?
I'll know
Back
Zero.
on Titan.
I'll know Zero. All right, then. Let me get my
All right,
notes
time
up.
Spoiler
to just
alert,
sit
I'm
back
assuming.
and let Dave
Spoilers
talk.
for me because Nate has not watched the show, and I mean,
Well,
fuck
it
I
really
don't give a
sucks
shit.
to be you.
I go on A all the time. I'm not missing shit.
I plan on
I'm
watching
not-
it, so
I don't see the point in doing spoilers really, because like if people want to listen to a review, then they want to know whether it's for them and whether
Yeah.
they want to watch it or not. It's not. I don't hear of many people who listen to a review just because they want to go along and hear somebody else's opinion on it, really, or just to sit there and agree with the person. Yeah, I thought that too.
yeah, that show is shit. Finally, someone who agrees.
So in the build up to this podcast, I realized like I didn't have written no notes on Aoharu Ride, so that's all of what I'm about to say about Aoharu Ride is going to be off the top of my head. I'll know Zero is just a collection of notes and a lot of capital letters from what I'm looking at. Yeah, lots of capital letters. All right, so we've already been over the plot to Wild No Zero in the previous podcast, so if you've got no idea what it's about, pause this, go and read it on Wikipedia or my anime list and get a plot summary up for it. Read that and then come
I think the
back.
best one was probably Cassie reading it as a D&D script on The Last Reanimate.
That was pretty good.
Because I actually,
Didn't show up, though.
listening to it, I knew exactly where the hell I was up to. Because that's what my character would do.
Yeah, I love that. It's what my character would do.
I absolutely adore this show, and it's kind of in the same vein as what Ego was talking about with Nozaki-kun there. Like, the story itself isn't exactly the most unique thing in the world. Like, far from it. In fact, like, mankind has got to go up against a much bigger enemy with much better weaponry and all that shit. So it's basically like, how will we overcome the odds? Like, kind of a John Cena kind of thing.
John Cena, you can't see him though.
Yeah, exactly. We'll find one person who's got the ability to just adapt and fight off anything that's thrown in his path. It's kind of like
strike witches.
similar. It's kind of like similar to Titan and the spoilers and whatnot from episode 6 and 7, but we get that. We got one guy who's super smart or autistic or whatever, whichever way you want to put it.
He belongs in a Gundam anime.
Belongs in a Gundam anime, and the guy's called Inaho, and he's just a god when it comes to piloting mechs and what have you, and formulating a plan. So it's not the most original plot line in the world, but what really draws you to the show is what's really the best thing about the show is definitely the action scenes and the soundtrack. The combination between those two is just fucking breathless. Make noises and whatnot. To steal Cassie's quote from the last time, the soundtrack is breathless, and the best song off the soundtrack is called Breathless.
Wow, that's original.
But yeah, as I say, the main strengths of the show are the action scenes and whatnot. I'm not really sure what to say on the visuals because the mechs in the show are CG, and you can tell that they're CG, but it still looks good if you get where I'm coming from.
That's always kind of disconcerting.
I know it doesn't look like it should be there because like compared to like the background, which I'm going to assume is hand drawn or what have you, and then we've got this computer robot that's being generated on top of it. It does look weird, but at the same time, it's still got this strange, unique beauty to it.
Yeah,
I really just like looking at.
Same vibe from Argavol, and which I still haven't watched any of past the first 3 episodes.
Speaking as a mecha lover, no, like especially with the likes of, obviously I'm the one that keeps going back to Gundam, or but actually Star Driver. That's one I can go back to.
I always go back to Fate Zero, so don't worry about it.
Like Gundam 00 and Star Driver. The way that when the mechas appear, it is completely blatantly obvious that they're CG compared to the rest of the landscape, but it fits. It's obviously because they're not supposed to be compared to the rest of the timeline. They're sort of alien to it all, so the way they sort of don't fit in with the animation, it works.
Yeah. It's kind of like watching this as well. This is like in an alternate universe. I think it's still 2014 in Aldnoah, right?
No,
it's just an alternate timeline.
I think it's like 100 years later on.
I can't remember.
I know it is. I know it is. I know it is just a little bit ahead. I'll just double check.
But basically, they we shouldn't be used to seeing giant robots walking around and what have you. So again, with it not fitting in like that, it doesn't really bother me too much. So I'm not sure if there is a. It's the best way to put this. Like the visuals aren't amazing. They're not mind blowing, but the action scenes are. What makes the action scenes so good are like of what's riding on the fight and the soundtrack as soon as that kicks in, and just the fact that it's giant robots fighting each other.
It is 2014.
Like in a 12. I thought so, yeah, because the moon blew up in the 1970s or something like that. And that's...
No, they found the alien technology in 72.
Yeah.
The moon blew up in 99, and then it's set 15 years later.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Another thing that I think really does stand out in the show itself is the character developments in the show. When you heard if you heard our impressions on the show back in episode 9, you would know that like we didn't like any of the characters because none of them.
It wasn't even episode 9. I think it was after we watched like the first 3 or 4 was when I was bitching about every single
episode 9 of.
Oh.
Episode 9
gotcha.
of the Anime Brawl podcast. Yeah. So by the episode 3 mark, like the characters just went. There was nothing to them. They were just blank slates. Especially the main character, Inoho.
Yeah.
Like
I hated him so much, and then he was like my favorite character in the last episode.
When it came to the last episode, like obviously can't say spoilers, but like that moment when he smiles and then like we have a couple of flashbacks, and we're like, oh my god, he has emotions.
It wasn't
That's
even
incredible.
that. Even all the shit leading up to it, like the end of that episode. I thought it was. I don't know.
Yeah, build up to that episode. It does finally make you think. Yeah, wow, he is actually human. He does. He lives. He feels things the same way that I feel things. Of course, the princess's character development was quite nice as well. Like how she just went from kind of not believing what's going on. It's like, no, I can fix this. So, all people need to do is know that I'm still alive. And then there comes a point when Martians find out that she's still alive, but the plot is still in action to try and kill her. And then when she finally has that sudden realization, she just snaps and turns into a completely different person. And then again in the last episode, when we have that moment, you're like, so you actually, right, okay, I see that. Didn't see that coming. Slane as well.
Fuck Slane.
He's one character. Fuck Slane. I hate that guy. He ruined everything. But if it weren't for Slane, we wouldn't have had that big.
It's like the opposite of Inoho, which is why I don't like him and I really like Inoho. Because Inoho's so logical and great, and he's just emotional fuckboy. So, I would say those are the main strengths of the shows. As I said then, character development is pretty good. The drama, the tension, the action scenes, and the soundtrack. I mean, like, we could talk about the music for hours, I assume. I could talk about the music for hours, I assume. So, that's definitely the highlights of the entire show. I mean, I could go through the soundtrack and split up. All I can say is it's probably my favorite soundtrack of all time. Like, it's up there with like Fate Zero, Madoka, Ananatsu the Matador was another one I really loved, Effatella Memories, and Titan as well. So what Sawano's done essentially is just pissed all over his previous works with Guilty Crown and Attack on Titan and just created something completely fantastic. Going over the music again, not a big fan of the OP. I don't think that's very good. I kind of agree. The visuals are nice. I really like the beginning of the OP, but they kind of just, I don't know, it doesn't go into anything that I really like.
I love the beginning of the OP because when the camera's panning across the water, I instantly thought, like, that happens in Fate Zero's OP, and that looked gorgeous. But I will have to say right now, Fate Zero does have the prettier looking water. I'd say Fate Zero has won the water war. Yeah, ED is utterly fantastic as well. I think it's by far and away the best one this season. So spoilers on best ED of the season award.
Has Nate passed out?
No.
Okay. He's been laying there quite still for a while. I was like, is he dead?
Nah, y'all are talking about Noah Zero, and I haven't watched it, so I kind of been just like falling asleep. I didn't want to interrupt or nothing, like, because I haven't watched the show. So my opinion at the moment is kind of moot.
So I want to go to you first, Ego. Like, obviously I've been going over what I liked and what I didn't like about the show. What do you think? You have been watching it, right?
No, that was a mistake.
Okay, Valk, I'll go to you then. Like, what did you think of the show overall?
I really like it. Like, I don't think it's as fantastic as you do. I don't know. I actually think it's kind of generic in most ways, but I really enjoy it. It's fun.
I agree. I think it is generic.
Mm-hmm.
Disgusting.
I totally agree with you. I do think the plot's generic. I think the characters are definitely lacking in something, but when you've got an action scene that makes me... I recorded myself watching the last episode of No Zero, and I was very drunk, but it's kind of how I would react to watching it if I was sober anyway. So that might at some point make it onto the channel, and then you'll know exactly how it makes me feel. For a show like to just make me bounce up and down in my chair and scream the house down at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like, oh my god, this is happening. For a show to do that.
Yeah, I got pretty hyped at the end of the episode. Shit, I was like in this chat. I was like, "Where the fuck is Dave? Where the fuck is Dave?"
Got hold of me on Facebook. Where the fuck are you? I'm babysitting. What's going on? Who died? Like, oh no, it's Zero. I was like, oh shit, it's out. Yeah, so thanks, Captain Baz, for making me wait an extra 3 hours.
You know what? Kirsty was like that last week with the second to last episode of Free. She caught it 2 minutes after it aired, and she was just like, oh my god, and they're in there, and they're doing this. And I just looked over and went, gay.
Also, speaking of Free, fucking
Whoa,
so
let's not jump
satisfying.
the
It was
gun.
so good.
Oh my god. Wait, I thought that was only supposed to be 11 episodes this season.
13.
13.
You got
She was
tricked.
like, oh my god, they're in Australia, episode 12. They can't do this. They have to swim in the championship.
Yeah, sight to seeing.
Holy shit.
If at some point in the future, I would like to do a full review of Aldno's Zero. Obviously, we can only skirt over it now because of time constraints and whatnot. So I'm going to give it the 3 hours. The show it's fantastic. It's dramatic. It's action-packed. It's emotional. And most importantly, it's got the power to make you be a little kid again. It allows you to get excited over giant robots punching the fuck out of each other. And to be honest, what more do you need from a show? It's got one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. The animation and the CG overall, I think, looks okay. And the character growth in the show is brilliant. For those reasons, I'm going to give Aldno's Zero a 8.5 out of 10. I really wanted to give this a 9, or perhaps even something a little bit more, but I just thoroughly enjoyed it so much. And then I had to have a look at my other shows like F for Tale of Memories, Angel Beats, Code Geass, and like Dust Made of Amnesia. The shows I've given an 8.5 or a 9 to, and I'm like, honestly, could I rate it higher than those? Nah, I don't think I could. Better than those shows? No. On par with them? Definitely. So I think an 8.5 is a fair score. If season 2 is just as good or even better than that, it's got a shot of beating Fate Zero. Like, honestly, it does. Recommendation? Recommend it, absolutely. I would say no caveats on that one. This is a must-watch for anybody, anywhere, all over the world. Even the people who don't like mechs, I think I'd be right in saying, Valk, you don't like mechs
No,
either,
that's why I didn't watch it initially.
And would I be right in saying that you enjoyed it as well?
I fucking called that one. I was like, I bet you don't even like mechs. You'll probably like the show because it's going to be good. I call it now. And it's like before season 1 showed up, and I was like, oh, Nate was right.
In essence, give the show a go. It's definitely going to surprise you, and rewatch it, definitely. I've already watched it twice, and I still get goosebumps watching the action scenes and I'm listening to the music and stuff like that, so it's the gift that keeps on giving, for lack of a better phrase. There might come a time when the luster wears off, but I don't think that's going to be for a long time. So, Valk, 3 hours?
I'll probably just go with 8, because that's always my safe pick. And yes, I would recommend it. I'll rewatch it. I've already rewatched a bunch of it.
Yeah, I had to rewatch it with my cousin, so, you know, it was a nice excuse. I would have watched it anyway, but it was nice to have an excuse.
It looks so big on my head.
That's why I put mine under the headphones.
And yeah, I'm actually really fucking excited for January. I want to know where they're going with it. We've already discussed where we think it's probably going to go, but like I think it's going to be pretty fucking cool.
Free Eternal Summer. Valk, give us your thoughts and whatnot.
Enjoyable. It's about a bunch of fucking swimmers swimming, and kind of like the main focus of this season was like, oh, graduation's coming up and a bunch of the characters are leaving. Where are they going to go? They sort their shit out.
Sounds like real life.
And then, spoilers, at the end of the show, they all dive into a petal-filled water pool thing, and it was very gay.
Oh, it's so
very
good.
gay. I have seen the GIFs, and my god, I cringed so hard, I almost had a heart attack.
But the first episode...
Like,
was
started fucking bawling halfway through the show, like full-on tears, and it was so good.
I know, I seen that as well. That was just so much cringe in that show. It's unbelievable.
Oh, the cringe is so bad in some parts.
The look on the English in episode 12, just Rin and Haru trying to speak English.
Oh, I sent the episode to our resident Australian, and apparently the Australian accents were flawless.
I just love the fact that though basically they get to Australia in episode 12. And Haru's getting his passport checked, and the guy looks like in a Japanese, obviously normal anime, like that kind of voice, and it's just like, "Excuse me, mate, what's your passport for? What are you here coming to do?" I'm like, that just does not fit the face of the character.
So, strengths and weaknesses of the show. What was good? What's bad?
All of it.
Yes.
All of this is good and bad.
Yeah, and bad.
No, let's be fair. The first episode of Free in season 1, you do get to see Nagase's butt, proving that he is in fact a slut.
Excuse me, have you seen the free abridged series 50%
Oh, it's so
off?
good. I think I made half of them watch it once. I don't know who was here though.
Yeah, that was me, and I.
Nugget, who's up? Oh, get a goal.
All right, then. So the entire show is good and bad. It's a
It's just
comfortable
good.
watch.
It's way better than season 1.
It's an ice cream show.
Yes.
That's how comfortable it is.
Sit down and eat ice cream while watching it. That's what I do.
Are you telling me you don't eat
All right,
ice
then, let's
cream?
give it the 3 hours then. Let's wrap that up.
8.5 out of 10.
That
Yeah.
better than I'll know
Yeah,
zero.
oh, yeah.
At least to this, she could fact to it.
Hey, did you just say
Like, it
I'll
was
know
just
I know
so-
zero?
It was so fucking comfy. Like, I loved watching it. And, like, the ending, I was like, yep, I'm good. Done with the show now. It was good.
It was emotional.
Not really.
Hey, just putting it out there. Anything KyoAni makes is good. Just it doesn't matter what KyoAni makes. It's good.
I would argue with you on that one.
Name one show
very short on time.
made by KyoAni that's bad.
3.
You haven't even watched it.
No,
Fuck
it's
you.
good and I hate it. That's all. That's it. It's good and I hate it.
I'm gonna have a look at this list now. Hang on a minute.
To be fair,
Yep.
Clan Edge doesn't count because it was made.
Full Metal Panic. I didn't like Full Metal Panic. What I seen of it.
Ooh.
Full Metal Panic was
Amagami Brilliant. Oh yeah, that's one they're doing like Chunibyo.
Whoa! Shut up. The show is great.
Can anybody honestly tell me like straight that show is not cringeworthy and good?
I liked that. I thought it was cute as shit. You fuck right
Whenever I
off.
see a gif of that, I actually want to like start watching the show. But then
You wanna watch it
I
'cause it's
realize the show is probably not that great.
It's great. Like it's this kid. It's this fucking this almost grown girl who wants to be a kid. And shut up. Imagination power is the best.
All right, we are running very, very short on time here. We're running way long on time.
We've
I've
got
got a lot
lots
of
to cut
cooking to
out,
do. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to us. Keep it, like us on Facebook, subscribe, do all that thing. Part 2 should be out sometime not long after this one because it's probably going to be recorded tomorrow. maybe?
oh, great.
I'm going to work.
So you know,
I'll just record with whoever I've got the fuck around. So you've been here with myself, Archerskye. You've been here with Raverin.
Oh, gozaimasu.
Bleeark.
No, that's me.
Ego. Hello, we're leaving.
Bye.
And Valk.
Well, I said Ohio gozaimasu, so.
I'll be seeing you.